The revelation. The Galactic Confederation had always considered Earth a minor player. When humanity achieved faster-than-light travel 50 years ago and joined the interstellar community, they were assigned observer status, the diplomatic equivalent of a child's seat at the adult's table. Earth's representatives attended council meetings but held no voting power. Their petitions for full membership were routinely denied with patronizing assurances that humans weren't quite ready. Commander Elena Reyes stood at attention as Ambassador Liran of the Arcturian hegemony descended from his shuttle at the Sydney International Spaceport. His crystalline exoskeleton caught the morning sunlight, sending prismatic reflections dancing across the landing pad. 6 attendants followed, each carrying elaborate data crystals, ceremonial gifts that would be politely accepted and later analyzed for surveillance technology. Ambassador Liran. Elena greeted with a precise bow. "Welcome to Earth. I'm Commander Reyes, your escort during your assessment visit." The Arcturian's faceted eyes studied her. "Commander, your species seems quite confident for one so new to the stars." Elena maintained her professional smile. The Arcturians have been among the most vocal opponents to upgrading Earth's status. This assessment visit was their latest delaying tactic. "We're honored by your presence," she replied. "Your tour begins at our Oceanic Research Institute, if you'll follow me." The Oceanic Research Institute sprawled along Australia's eastern coast, a gleaming complex of laboratories and observation platforms extending into the Pacific. Dr. Maya Chen, the institute's director, greeted them at the main entrance. "Ambassador Liran, welcome," she said, bowing deeply. "We've prepared demonstrations of our marine biology advancements." The Arcturians seemed unimpressed. "The Confederation is more interested in your defensive capabilities. Dr. Chen, your species occupies a strategic location, yet claims minimal military assets." Dr. Chen exchanged a subtle glance with Elena. "Of course, perhaps you'd care to see our underwater drone program." For 3 hours, they toured laboratories filled with oceanic research equipment. The ambassador grew increasingly impatient as they demonstrated devices for mapping ocean floors, studying marine ecosystems, and monitoring climate patterns. "Commander Reyes," Liran finally said, his crystalline form vibrating with irritation, "the Keldari Alliance has reported unusual energy signatures from Earth's oceans. The Confederation Council requires transparency about any hidden military capabilities. The Keldari, aggressive expansionists who had been encroaching on Earth's solar system for years. Their sudden interest in Earth's affairs explained this visit." Elena nodded to Dr. Chen, who tapped a sequence on her wristband. The floor beneath them began to descend. "What is this?" demanded Liran, his attendants clustering protectively around him. "Transparency, Ambassador," Elena replied as the platform carried them down into darkness. As requested, lights activated sequentially, revealing an enormous underground chamber extending kilometers in every direction. The platform continued descending past multiple levels of research laboratories, manufacturing facilities, and barracks. Earth joined the galactic community with full awareness of how larger powers treat smaller ones, Elena explained. "History taught us to prepare accordingly." They finally stopped at an observation deck overlooking an enormous underwater bay. Through reinforced transplas windows, massive vessels were visible in the water. Sleek, dark shapes unlike anything in known space fleets. "What are these?" Liran whispered, moving closer to the window. "The Poseidon Fleet," Dr. Chen answered. 73 submersible star cruisers, powered by deuterium fusion cores. They operate in water or space with equal efficiency. Ambassador Liran's crystalline form paled. "Impossible. Your technological level is precisely what we allowed others to believe," Elena interrupted. "Humanity has been developing these vessels for 30 years, hidden beneath Earth's oceans, the one place alien surveillance couldn't penetrate." The observation deck continued moving horizontally now, revealing more of the underwater base. Thousands of personnel moved efficiently through the facility. Smaller vessels, obviously fighters, were being loaded into larger carriers. Maintenance crews swarmed over the hulls of the massive ships, performing final checks. The Oceanic Research Institute isn't just for research, Dr. Chen explained. It's the administrative headquarters for Earth's true defense system. You've been deceiving the Confederation, Loran accused, his voice unsteady. We've been protecting ourselves, Alina corrected. Each time Earth petitioned for full membership and protection under Confederation law, we were denied. Meanwhile, the Keldari have violated our outer system repeatedly, testing our responses. Did you think we wouldn't notice their scout ships mapping our defenses? The deck stopped at a command center embedded in the rock wall. Inside, officers monitored displays showing Earth's oceans and near-space sectors. Admiral James Wong, commander of Earth's combined defense forces, waited for them. Ambassador, he greeted Liren calmly. I hope this tour explains our reluctance to detail our defensive capabilities in Confederation reports. Liren's faceted eyes narrowed. The Confederation will see this as a hostile act, a secret military buildup. We see it as prudence, Admiral Wong replied, and perfectly legal. Earth signed the Treaty of New Mars, which requires us to disclose our orbital and land-based military assets. It says nothing about underwater capabilities. He gestured to a large tactical display. 4 hours ago, a Keldari battle group entered the Kuiper Belt. They disabled our automated warning beacons and are proceeding toward Earth at sublight speed, a clear act of aggression. The display showed 12 Keldari warships moving through the outer solar system, weapons systems active. They're expecting to find a defenseless planet protected only by a handful of outdated orbital platforms, Admiral Wong continued. Instead, they'll encounter the Poseidon fleet. Liren moved closer to the display. You can't engage a Keldari battle group. It would trigger a war. They fired on our beacons, Alina stated flatly. Under Confederation law, that constitutes an act of war. We're simply defending our territory. Dr. Chen touched another control, and the largest screen showed a massive underwater gate opening. Through it, 3 enormous vessels moved into open water, each nearly 2 kilometers long, their dark hulls adorned with the insignia of Earth's United Defense Force. The Perseus, the Atlantis, and the Trident. Admiral Wong identified them. Our first-generation capital ships. They'll intercept the Keldari beyond Mars orbit. First generation? Liren asked, his voice barely audible. Admiral Wong smiled thinly. The vessels you see here are our third-generation fleet. Faster, more heavily armed, and capable of atmospheric, oceanic, and deep space combat. Ambassador Liren turned away from the displays, his crystalline form trembling slightly. Why reveal this now? Why show me? Because it's time for honesty, Alina replied. Earth has maintained this fleet in secret because we had to. Now we're strong enough to protect ourselves openly. And Admiral Wong added, because we need you to deliver a message to the Confederation Council. Earth is not seeking conflict, but neither will we remain vulnerable. We request immediate reclassification as a full member world with all associated protections and responsibilities. After this revelation, some council members will demand sanctions, Liren warned. They're welcome to try enforcing them, Alina said quietly. Dr. Chen stepped forward. Ambassador, please understand, humanity doesn't want war. We built this fleet because history taught us that weakness invites aggression. The Poseidon fleet exists to ensure Earth will never be an easy target. Liren studied the humans for a long moment. Your species has shown remarkable foresight. I will convey your message, though I cannot predict the Council's response. That's all we ask, Admiral Wong said. Now, would you like to observe how an observer status civilization defends its borders? On the main display, the first 3 vessels of Earth's hidden fleet breached the ocean's surface, water cascading from their massive hulls as they rose into the sky, a sight that would forever change the galaxy's perception of humanity. The Reckoning. The Keldari Battle Group Commander, Supreme Tactician Vostar, studied the sensor readings with growing confusion. His 12 warships had passed Mars' orbit without encountering the expected resistance from Earth's pitiful orbital defenses. Something was wrong. "Status report," he demanded, his scaled crest rising with agitation. "No sign of Earth's defense platforms, Supreme Tactician," his sensor officer replied. "Our advanced scouts report they appear to have been withdrawn." Vostar hissed in annoyance. Had the humans somehow detected their approach despite the stealth technology? Impossible. The humans were technological infants, barely capable of interstellar travel. Their vaunted space forces consisted of a few dozen outdated patrol ships and orbital platforms, nothing that could challenge a Keldari battle group. "Continue approach," he ordered. "Prepare invasion protocols." On the main viewing screen, Earth appeared. A blue jewel against the blackness of space. Already, the Keldari could taste victory. Earth's resources would soon fuel the expansion of their empire, and humans would make excellent slave labor for the mining colonies. "Supreme Tactician." The sensor officer's voice rose in alarm. 3 unidentified vessels approaching from Earth. "Display," Vostar commanded. The screen shifted to show 3 massive ships unlike anything in known space. Their dark hulls absorbed light rather than reflecting it, making them difficult to track visually. They moved with impossible speed for vessels of their size, adjusting course with the agility of fighters rather than capital ships. "Impossible," Vostar whispered. "Sensor malfunction. Those cannot be Earth vessels." "Sensors confirmed, Supreme Tactician. They are broadcasting Earth identification codes." Before Vostar could respond, a communication request flashed on his command console. With a gesture, he accepted it. Admiral James Wong's face appeared on the screen, his expression calm but resolute. Behind him, a command center hummed with activity. "Keldari vessels, this is Admiral Wong of the Earth Defense Force. You have violated Earth's sovereign space and committed acts of aggression by disabling our warning beacons. Withdraw immediately or be destroyed." Vostar's crest flattened against his skull in anger. "This is Supreme Tactician Vostar of the Keldari Dominion. Your primitive world has no authority to make demands. Surrender and your deaths will be quick." Admiral Wong smiled slightly. "I expected such a response." The transmission ended abruptly. "Weapons status," Vostar barked. "Charged and ready, Supreme Tactician. Target those vessels, and—" He never finished the order. The 3 Earth ships accelerated suddenly, moving faster than the Keldari targeting systems could track. Before the battle group could react, the Perseus, Atlantis, and Trident had taken positions surrounding them. "Sir, they've deployed some kind of energy field," the tactical officer reported frantically. "Our weapons are losing power." Vostar slammed his clawed hand against his command console. "Impossible. Countermeasures." But there were no countermeasures for technology they had never encountered. The Keldari ship's energy weapons powered down involuntarily, their engines sputtering as some unknown force drained their reactors. Admiral Wong's face reappeared on the screen. "Your weapons and engines are now disabled, Supreme Tactician. A demonstration of Earth's quantum dampening field. Technology we developed while you thought us primitive. You have 1 hour to power up your life support systems using auxiliary generators and prepare for boarding." Vostar's crest flattened completely against his skull, the Keldari expression of total defeat. "This is impossible. Earth cannot have such technology." "Earth has many things you don't know about," Wong replied, "including an entire fleet still hidden beneath our oceans. The 3 ships you see represent less than 5% of our true capabilities." In the Confederation Council chambers on Centauri Prime, the emergency session had devolved into chaos. Ambassador Loran's report on Earth's hidden fleet had sent shockwaves through the gathered representatives. Holograms displayed the ongoing encounter between Earth's vessels and the Keldari battle group. "This is outrageous," the Tellarate ambassador shouted. "Humans have deliberately concealed military assets in violation of transparency protocols." "What protocols?" Alina Reyes asked calmly from Earth's observer podium. Earth was never granted full membership, so we were never subject to the Mutual Defense Treaty's disclosure requirements. We disclosed everything required under our observer status agreements. The Arcturian High Chancellor stepped forward, his crystalline form glittering under the chamber lights. Commander Reyes speaks truth. I have reviewed the agreements. Earth violated no binding protocols. The council chamber fell silent. The Arcturians were known for their strict interpretation of law, and the High Chancellor's statement carried significant weight. Furthermore, Chancellor continued, the Keldari incursion was an unprovoked act of aggression. Earth's defense was lawful and proportionate. On the main display, the 3 Earth vessels had now captured the entire Keldari battle group without firing a single shot. Earth boarding teams were transferring the Keldari crews to containment areas. The question remains, the Centaurian Premier said, what does Earth intend with this newly revealed power? All eyes turned to Commander Reyes. She stood slowly, her posture straight and dignified. Earth desires what we have always requested, full membership in the Confederation with all associated rights and responsibilities. We built our fleet because we had to, not because we wanted to. When denied protection, we protected ourselves. She gestured to the display showing Earth's vessels. The Poseidon fleet was created for defense, not conquest. But make no mistake, we will defend ourselves against any aggression, whether from the Keldari or any other power that mistakes our patience for weakness. The council chamber remained silent as the implications settled in. Humanity, the supposed newcomers to galactic politics, had just neutralized a Keldari battle group without casualties, something even the most advanced Confederation worlds would struggle to accomplish. I propose, the Arcturian Chancellor finally said, that Earth's application for full membership be reconsidered immediately. Back on Earth, in the Underwater Command Center, Ambassador Liren stood with Admiral Wong and Dr. Chen, watching live feeds from the Confederation Council session. Your species is remarkable, Liren admitted. Most worlds would have flaunted such military power from the beginning. Admiral Wong shook his head. That would have made us targets. We preferred to appear harmless while building our strength. A strategy as old as humanity, Dr. Chen added. The appearance of weakness when one is strong. Liren's faceted eyes studied the enormous underwater base. How many of these facilities exist? That, Alina Reyes said as she entered the command center, remains classified information, Ambassador. Liren made a sound that might have been laughter. Of course, some secrets must remain. He turned to face the humans. The Council has voted. Earth is granted provisional full membership, pending a formal ceremony next month. Admiral Wong nodded. Thank you for conveying our message faithfully. I did what was right, Liren replied. Though I admit, my perspective has evolved since witnessing your hidden fleet. On the monitors, the Keldari Supreme Tactician Vostar was being led from his captured vessel. His expression was one of complete disbelief as he saw the true extent of Earth's military power. Dozens of additional vessels surfacing from Earth's oceans, their dark hulls glistening in the sunlight. What happens now? Liren asked. Now, Alina said, we take our place as equals in the galaxy, not as conquerors, not as victims, but as partners. Dr. Chen smiled. And we continue building. The oceans taught us patience, Ambassador. There's a saying among our submarine crews, the deeper the waters, the calmer the mind. I believe, Admiral Wong added, the galaxy will be surprised by how reasonable humanity can be once our existence is no longer threatened. As if to emphasize his point, the main display showed Earth's 3 capital ships escorting the captured Keldari vessels not toward Earth, but toward the Confederation headquarters for proper legal processing. You're releasing them to Confederation custody? Liren asked, surprised. We follow galactic law, Alina confirmed, even when others don't. That's the message we want to send. Beneath Earth's oceans, the rest of the Poseidon fleet remained on alert. Humanity's hidden guardians, ready if needed but hoping they never would be again. The revelation of their existence had changed the balance of power in the galaxy overnight, transforming Earth from a minor player to a major power. But as Admiral Wong had said, power was not humanity's goal. Security was. And with the respect of the galactic community finally earned, perhaps Earth could now contribute to building a more just and peaceful order among the stars. The oceans had kept humanity's secrets well. Now they would bear witness to humanity's true emergence onto the galactic stage, not as conquered, but as equals, not as aggressors, but as defenders of peace.